Hello, hey Jitendra and Pranab. Welcome to the second session. Uh, before others can join in, yes, hi Jitendra. Before others join in, let me just help you in how to use the dashboard, how to look at the PPTs, or how to look at the videos that we are sharing, or how to look at even the code samples that we'll be sharing through the course. Okay, so basically, when you log into the Eckhart Guild website using your sign in, so I'm a mentor. So when I logged in, I can I have to select basically the course, right, and the page ID. So probably you will also have the similar sort of thing, and you will see all the classes here. Okay, and now in each of the classes, let's say yesterday we had this class, and in this class the recording is present. You can actually go and view this recording. You can download this. You can also view this by streaming it. Let me know if you guys are able to see this link. Can you just ping me whether you are able to see this link? Okay, cool. Cool. Okay. Now, let's say you wanted to look at the PPTs. Okay. Let's say you want to look at the PPTs and code examples or anything that we're sharing for each of the class. What you need to do is you have to go here on the left panel. You have to go to the course content. Okay, I'm just opening it in another page so that for easy for me to tell you. You can click on that same page itself. So once you click on here, you will be having a page like this. Here you have to go and select the session. Okay, let's say I am selecting the session one that happened yesterday. Once you select the session, you'll have three things. One is PPT examples, the deck which we used to explain the things in the last session. Code examples. If there is any code that is being used, okay, if there is any code that is being used in the session, or if there is any code which is present in the PPT itself, those codes will be put here, okay, so that you can go and download. I'll show you. For the first session, there was no code, so you don't see any code here. Even for the first session, there was no assignment. You may get similar. You may not get anything over here, okay. But let me just go to the second session to give an example. So when you go to the second session, if you click on the PPT example, you can get the PPT here, right? Now, if you want to, let's say you want to view it, you can view it by scrolling through. But let's say you want to download it, go to the right top corner of this panel and click on download, and you can download the PPT and use it at a point of time from your own local system. Now, this particular session has some R code. Okay, it has some R scripts written. So if you click on code examples, it will you'll be prompted with a message that you can download that particular session code. Okay, you can download it and you can open it. And if you download and open, I am getting this code. Okay, this all the codes that is being used in the session. Okay, and so you can actually keep it and you can do a practice later point of time. Hold on guys, just a second. Hi, Jitendra Pranab. Sorry, actually, our coordinator, Avinav, has just called saying the few more people who are expected to join having some issue in connecting. So sorry for that. Okay, so you can download for all these codes and you can actually practice it. Okay, if you look at in that particular slide, okay, look at this session too. Don't worry about what is the content of the session too, but look at some point of time, I have some R code. Okay, these are the R code pasted on the right side of it. Okay, and because this is not a PowerPoint version, this is a PDF version. It will be very difficult for you to actually copy this code and maybe paste it in a console and run it on your own. So what we have done is anything that we are making you practice through the session, we are ensuring that that is put in a Word format so that you can use that later point of time. Okay. Now on the assignment part, if there is some assignment, yes, there is some assignment. You can go and view the assignment. Okay, and you can actually. So objective is you guys have to practice it and uh, complete and give it to us before the next class, or right, or we'll tell you how to, like, from uh, whether it's a one day or it's like 1 week will be given. That's will confirm you. Okay, but here is where you will get the assignment and you can view the solution also later point of time. Okay, so let's look at so as I said, PPTs can be viewed here. But what I have done is for us to look into a full screen mode, I have downloaded those PPTs and I'm going through those PPTs. Okay, so let's just summarize whatever we had explained in the last session. Okay, so we went through what is big data, and we saw that there are four components, main key factors. If those four key factors satisfies, then it is that it's an indication that you should be using big data ecosystem, right? So the four V's are volume, velocity, variety, and veracity, right? Then we went ahead and looked at what is business analytics, what is the definition of business analytics, and uh, what is the yes. Any question? Hey Anand. Hi Anand, I have kept you in mute. If you have any question, you can unmute and ask me. Okay, so we went through business analytics and the process. What is the process of it, and how it benefits business. Then we went ahead and saw three analytics, the types of analytics, right? So if you remember, those are like descriptive analytics, predictive analytics, and prospective analytics, right? And I gave you an example of uh, Nike shoe sales, sorry, a sales of a company using the input like the number of products it's selling, the number of new products is launching, and the number of employees working in that company, right? So we went through that example. Then we went ahead and looked at what data analytics is and how it is different from, or how it has originated from statistical analysis, right? Then we went ahead, looked at basic block diagram of decision model, and we looked at controllable parameter and uncontrollable parameter, and we that is like categorical variables and numerical variables, right? And then we went ahead and looked at what are the basic steps of solving a problem, and uh, we saw like 6 steps are there, and I gave an example of a data scientist working for a hotel booking portal and trying to solve something using the data, and he he found that people who are using iPhones and iPhone devices are interested in little bit costlier but better reviewed hotels compared to who are not using it, right? So, and we also looked at what is the data scientist roles. So data scientist roles should be, a data scientist should be good at hacking skills, like soft skills, programming skills, should have domain understanding, and should have maths and statistical knowledge, right? That all three combinedly makes a person towards the goal of reaching as a data scientist, right? And we saw like typical backgrounds, although this is not mandatory, but generally this is the background of people who are data scientists in the current scenario or at the current point of time. Okay, so any questions? Anybody wanted to ask any questions before we begin the next session? Anybody has any doubt on uh, anything that we discussed yesterday? Okay, I take it as there is no doubt, unless you can always stop me by you can send me a chat message. Okay, okay. So for today's session, so guys, welcome to today's session. This is the second session for business analytics using R, and today's session will be giving you introduction on R. Okay, today's session is um, not to put too much of pressure on the brain, like sure, how I'm not able to code R or something. We'll be giving you an overview of what is the packages, what are we going to use in R, and how it is important, and okay, all those sorts of stuff. But I'll not be giving you step by step approach like how to start coding in R, or what are the data types in R. That will follow in the next consecutive classes. Okay, and from including today class, we will take 6 classes. Each classes will be 1.5 hours. We will take 6 classes to finish R. Like we will take 6 classes to have a hands-on on R before we move to statistics. Okay, so okay, I believe everybody uh, here does not have RStudio. Anybody has RStudio installed? Please let me know, because I'm gonna show you how to install R from now. Anybody has R installed or RStudio installed? Please let me know. Can everybody ping me whether they have RStudio installed or not? Okay. No. Pranab says no. Jitendra says no. Okay. What about Anand? No. Okay. Fine. So let's go ahead and see how to install RStudio. Okay. So what we're gonna do is, okay, before we go on installing RStudio, if you have heard of Eclipse, right? Anybody who codes in Java, they uses a software called Eclipse. Okay, Eclipse is nothing but a platform, or a IDE, right? A development environment where they can easily write codes. So similarly, if you want to write codes in R or write some scripts in R, RStudio is the IDE for R. Okay, when I say IDE, means it's integrated development environment, right? So it will help you in a lot of ways. Like if you want to write a function name, let's say I want to write a function name called string cat, like to add 2 strings. Okay, so if I type str, right, it will give me all the options or all the functions name that is present with the prefixes str, so that it helps me. Like I don't need to remember everything from scratch, right? So the IDE will help you to write code very easily. Okay, whereas writing in directly on R would be little tougher. So okay, so I RStudio is the IDE for R. So let's go ahead and download R, and I'll show you how to install and start the R. So let me. So right now what I've done is I've clicked on the link, and I'm going to the download site, and this gives me, okay, it says the current release is RStudio Desktop 0.99.491. Okay, this is my current version, and it says this particular R desktop or RStudio needs R 2.11.11. Okay, 2.11.1. So what does it mean is RStudio is IDE, right? RStudio is IDE, whereas R is a language, right? So the language will have its own installations, and the R Studio is a separate thing that is sitting on the top of the language. So the R version has to be more than 2.11, okay, to for you to able to use R Studio. So we'll not worry about it. Let's go ahead and install. So my system is Windows 7. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select Windows Vista 7, 8, 10, right? So I'm going to download this version of the R. So if you are using some, um, if you're using a Mac book, or if you're using a Ubuntu or Fedora Linux system, you can go ahead and use this. But if you're using a Windows system, please click on this. So first I'm going to download this. It will take a minute. Don't worry. If you guys want, you can do the same things side by side with me. That would actually help you to set up R right away in R Studio. I suggest everybody download. Let's everybody download this. We'll set it up R Studio for everybody's here, so that you don't need to do it later. Okay, Anand, what is the problem? You can unmute yourself and tell me what's the problem.
Hello.
Yes, Anand.
Yeah, your this dashboard. How to minimize your dashboard? How I will be simultaneously, you know, um, open the window.
You can use the control tab. You can use the control tab, say, or alt tab. Use alt tab.
Sorry,
Can you use alt tab?
alt.
Alt tab.
Or yeah. Okay.
This will
Okay.
switch between windows. Now because your this the screen is in full screen mode, you are not able to see your bottom panel. So just use alt tab. It will switch between windows. Then you can use this.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Jitendra and Pranav, are you able to download? Okay, cool. What about Jitendra? Okay, no problem. But don't worry. Yeah, you can do it later. So, guys, if your internet speed is low, let me know. We can actually, you can defer it and we can do that later. So that we don't have to wait for long to be downloaded. My installer is already downloaded. Let me know if I should begin. Okay, Pranab, is your speed high? Will you be able to download within a minute or so? What about Anand? 30 seconds more. What about Anand?
I will do it later.
Okay, fine. So Pranab, just ping me once you have downloaded. Okay, cool. So Pranav has downloaded. Let's go ahead and install it. So this is my R Studio. So I clicked on it, um, and I just go. So it says it will install in the program files. It's by default. Okay, R Studio default. Click on it. Now it is installing R Studio for me. So once R Studio is installed, okay, we're gonna check what is the version of the R Studio that is installed and whether R is also installed along with R Studio or not. We're gonna check that. Okay, so it says RStudio is installed. Now let me go to program and features, and I'm gonna look at R. And if I see RStudio is installed, but R is not installed. Okay, RStudio is installed, but R is not installed. To confirm that, let me go ahead and open R Studio. Okay, where do I see RStudio? Huh? So now I have installed RStudio and I went through my desktop. There is shortcut created onto the desktop, and I went ahead, double click on it, and it says your RStudio requires an existing R installation in order to work. Please select the version of R to use. Okay. Now, basically, if you are using a 64-bit system, please go ahead and use 64-bit. If your system is a 32-bit processor, you can go ahead and click on 32-bit. But if it is 64, it is preferable that you go with the 64-bit uh, machine. Okay. So it says R is not installed, right? So you can download from the official R site. And would you like to go there now? So it's asking me to go ahead to the official site and download it. So I just went ahead and say yes. Okay, it's taking some time, but don't worry. So let's just Google it. Say R CRAN site. So I go to R CRAN site. Okay, R and CRAN is the main website for this. So you can see, right, cranrproject.org. So I'm going there, and once you will click on that first link, you will land up here. Okay, and if you see here in the first three links that is provided on the main screen, it says the third link says download R for Windows. So because you're using Windows system, I'm gonna click here, and it will take us here. Okay, so if you're using if it's the first time, right, so go ahead with the base version. Go ahead with the base version. And if you see here, it says install R for the first time. Okay, because R was not there. If you're doing it for the first time, you click on here, install R for the first time. Click here. Once you click here, you will go to this page, and it says the first in big font, right? The big font letters. This first line says download R 3.2.3 for Windows. So R 3.2.3 is the latest versions that is being released by CRAN site. Okay, the latest version of the R. So you go ahead and click on it, and it will also ask you to save the file. So I'm just saving it. For me, it will just take a minute or less than a minute. Pranav, if you want, you can do that as well. Okay. So Pranav is doing this. So I would recommend whoever is not doing it right now, or soon after the classes ends, please download and install as soon as possible. Good. Okay. Just download it. I mean, mine is 10 seconds more. Let's just wait for 5 seconds. Okay. So my R is installed. So let me just close this. Okay. Because it says choose R installation. So I don't have the R installed. So I'll just close this R Studios window. I'll just close this. Once I install R Studio, I'm going to open, once I install the R version, I'm going to open RStudio again. Okay. So for the time being, I'm going to install R. So because it's asking me the admin access, so I says yes. And I went ahead and the default selection is English language. That is fine for me. Okay, just click on next, next, next. Okay, I need which version. So if you just go on next. Okay, don't select anything here. Just go next. Okay, says default, next, everything next. Okay, you don't need to do anything. Just next. If you want to change something, go ahead. You are welcome to change. But if you are not comfortable in changing some options, go ahead with default selection and just click on next. Okay. So my R is installed, right? So now I'm again going to open RStudio. So I double click on it. Now the RStudio will open because I have already selected 64-bit, right? So my R is open now. Okay. Actually, before we begin the class, I had R installed on my system. To show you how to install R, I have uninstalled R and RStudio, and I have installed again. So there are some code that I have already written is still showing over here. You don't need to worry about that. Okay, so now this is your default RStudio window. Okay, this is your default RStudio window, and your RStudio window, you will see 4 compartments, right? You will see this is compartment 1, this is compartment 2, this is 3, this is 4. Let's see what are all this. Okay, so we have downloaded. So first one is R script and data view. Okay, if you're writing any code, okay, if you're writing any code, you can actually write on this screen. Okay, here I have written some code. Okay, R code. There are 3 R files where I have written some R code. I can write some code here. If you want to open a new file, and you want to write something new, you can do that here by clicking on file, then go to new file, then says R script. Okay, it will open one new screen for you. Okay, for example, I just write a equal to, let's say, a equal to 5, and I says b assigned 6. Okay, this this arrow mark is nothing but equal assignment. Okay, it's just assignment operations. Instead of that, you can also write equals. This will also work for you. Okay, a equals to 5 or a assigned 6, anything is fine. Okay, for you. So basically I have created, to understand what I have done is, I have created 2 scalars. Scalar means a variable which contains just one value. Okay, scalar is a variable which contains one value. Don't worry, we're gonna we're gonna learn all this detail from the next class, but this is just about giving an overview how it works. Yeah, somebody has pinged me. Okay. Anand, sound is not clear. For rest, is the sound clear?
Now it's clear.
Now it is clear? Okay. Please do let me know. We can stop for a second if it is not clear in between. Right. So what I've done is I have written equal to 5, b equal to 6 basically. And I'm saying let's define one more scalar that will also contain one variable equal to a plus b, right? That means C will be 11, right? 5 plus 6 will be 11. Okay. And I'm going to do is I'm going to print. Print is a command where I can print any variable name. Let's say I say C. Okay. So I'm going to print C. So this is where I can write code. Okay. I can write code. Now, when you open something, it is untitled. If you see, it is untitled here. If you want to save it, you can click here and you can choose your directory and you can say save. Let's say this is my first code. Let's say try 1. Okay, and in the type you set try1.r. Okay, because this is R script. Just save try1.r. So this R extension is for to know that it's a R code. Okay, so this is saved. Okay, now so here you can write codes like this. We'll see how to run it. Jitendra, are you also not able to hear me? Okay, okay. So, okay. Okay, people can hear. Okay, fine. So this is a place where you can write code, and and also in not only write, you can write code, you can also view some data. Okay, I'll show you how can you view the data. You go to the file, say open file. Okay, a new file is for creating new files, right? Now open file for opening existing files. What I'll do is I have some CSV data available somewhere. I'm going to select that particular directory, and let me show you that there is something called admission.csv. Okay, so when I open the admission.csv, I can see the data here. I can see the attribute names, student ID, GPA score, GRE score, rank of the university, and whether they got admission when they apply to a new university or not. So this I can see the data, I can view the data, I can also write codes on the left panel. Okay, now, and the second panel is environment and history. Second is this one. Okay, environment and history. Here, whatever data structure, okay, whatever data you will be creating will be visible here, okay, in the environment. And in the history, whatever command you are writing will be visible here. Okay, this is the second window. I'll show you how it will be showing. Okay, now the third window is a console window where you can execute some program. You can also write some small script here. Instead of writing everything on the R file, you can write some small script here. Okay, let me just do something. Let's say my first variable, let's say var 1 equal to, let's say, 10. When I executed, right, var 1 equal to 10. Look at this. I executed two lines. First, I assigned value 10 into the a scalar called var 1, and then I just printed var 1, right? You can just write var 1, or you can also say print var 1. Okay, this will also print the same thing. So when I wrote three instructions, right, var 1 equal to 10, var 1, print var 1, all this came up in the history, right, latest history. If you see here, the last three lines were the last three lines I executed on the console, right? And this is on the history tab of the second panel. What about environment? Let's see being what is there in the environment. Now, look at this. I have created a scalar. Now, scalar is one type of data, right? It's a scalar data. I have created a scalar data named var1, whose value is 10, right? So that is saved in the environment, the current environment I'm working on. So now it says the um, where one is a scalar numeric bytes and the value is 10, assigned 10, right? Similarly, I have already done a lot of coding, and all this tells me what is the data, what is the data type, what's data is there, what's value is there, everything it will show me. Okay, uh, and the fourth one, okay, the fourth panel, the last panel, will have multiple tabs. One is file. Okay, the file will tell me if I am in a particular directory. If I am at a particular directory, it will tell me what are all the files present in the directory. Okay, right now, if I show you, I am in this particular directory. I am at training. Hold on a second. Where am I? Category. Okay, I'm at user lucky documents. Okay, So I am at, so this is a default location. If Pranab, okay, if you have already opened, if you write set WD, okay, just write, sorry, get WD, GET WD and give a bracket, put enter, it will tell you what is your current workspace. You can check that. Okay, we'll come to that later also. So right now I am at C drive, users, the key and documents, right? So I am at this particular directory. So here I have all these files, right? And this panel will tell me what are the files listed in that particular directory. Okay, everything that you can see on this Explorer window will be shown here. Okay, so it's just again Explorer window. Plots, if you are drawing some charts and all, right, if you're drawing some bar charts, if you're drawing some line charts, even 3D charts, those will come here. Okay, those plots will come here. Package, see, in R, it's an open source community, right? So everybody are contributing to R. There are lots of team who are writing beautiful R codes and they are packaging it, making it a package, and they are uploading to the CRAN site. Okay, the CRAN site where from where we installed R. So into this site. So those, it's the beauty of using R is you can actually use their already built package and you can use that to run something. Okay, you don't need to write everything from scratch. Just use their package, and yeah, inside their package there will be a lot of functions to do, so a lot of modeling. You can use their package and then you can run their functions, right? So those whatever packages I have installed, okay, whatever packages I have installed will be listed here. Okay, will be listed here. Now for example, let's say there is something called matrix package. Okay, it is used for some sparse matrix, some matrix computation. If I want to use matrix package, okay, I have downloaded the matrix but I have not used it. So if I want to use matrix package, you just click here. Okay, click on this button. Okay, uh, and the library will be included to your environment. So you have installed, but you have not included the package root, right? So you can include that library. Other than that, there is also a command line, right? Whatever you can actually write a command and include that package. We'll see that later. Okay, don't worry about that. Now this is the list of all the packages that I have already downloaded. Okay, and it will tell you a description of each of the package. But if you want to install another package, let's say if you want to install another package, if you want to install another package, then you can go ahead and uh, so this is your mirror. Okay, basically I'm going to install a package and I'll ask this particular window to take me to the CRAN site and install some package. Let's say there is a package called Reshape 2. Let's say there is a package called Reshape 2, and you know that's the package name. You can write the package name here and you can say install. Okay, and you can say install. Once you say install, it will install the Reshape 2 package for you. But ensure that you are writing the correct name of the package, and the package name is case sensitive. Okay, if it is capital R, um, reshape, right? You cannot write it as a small r, or if it is small r, you cannot write it as capital R, just to uh, I mean, it is case sensitive, so you have to be careful about that. Okay, so you can install a package from here. This is how I can install from using these buttons. Okay, there is also a way you can install directly from the command line. That is coming up within few minutes. Okay, so now this is a package window, right? And now you can actually update some package. If some package you have installed, let's say in the 2 months or 3 months before, and the package has some update. I mean, those, let's say I have used Reshape package, okay, and Reshape package has been developed by a team. Okay, let's say reset package has been developed by Yahoo team, let's say, okay, and within the next 3 months they have actually done some new development and they have added those new functionality into the package, then you would definitely want to use those new functionalities, right? So in that case, you can um, just click on here. If you click on here, update package, whichever package was installed, right? Whichever package was installed, it will update. Or you can just select something and update also. Okay. Fourth tab, help. Help is if you know there is a function. If you know there is a function, but you do not know how to use it. Okay. If you know there is a function, let's say I know there is a function called melt. Let's say I know there is a function called melt, and this is the way you need to call a function. And inside a function, you have to send some parameter, but I don't know what parameter to send and how to send. In that case, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna type help. Then inside double quote, I'll type melt. Okay, here also you have to write the exact name of the function, and it is case sensitive. When I say melt, okay, it is, there is no package. Hold on a second. Let me use another thing. Okay, help. There is, I know there is another, there is a default function called GLM. Okay, GLM is a function to be to make you a little bit aware of GLM. GLM is a function we'll be using when we'll read regression and logistic regression. All for all the regression model towards the later part of the class, we'll be using GLM function. But let's say I don't know how to use GLM. So you just type help GLM, GLM inside the double quote, click on it. Once you click on it, you will see on the fourth window that we're talking about, you will see the GLM, how the description of the function, how it can be written, what are the formats it can be written, what is the each parameter value, so what is the for, what does it mean by formula, family, data, everything that can be used inside this function. Okay, it will also tell you, it will it will give you a lot of description about that particular uh, method, and it will also give you some examples how to run it. Okay, you will also get some examples how to run it. So instead of help in the bracket GLM, you can also, there is another shortcut. Um, there is another shortcut called, it's a question mark and just write GLM. If you write question mark and GLM, this will also show you the same description. So either you can use the command help, or you can just say question mark GLM, or question mark the function name will also help you getting to that particular function documentation page. Okay, so this is how this support tab works. Okay, so these are the main thing: files, plot, packages, and help. You don't need to worry about viewers. We'll see that later. Okay, for the time being, just remember files to list all the files, plots to, if you are drawing some charts, it will come off here. We'll see that now. If you want to use some package which is already installed, you want to add, you can add it here. You can install some package, you can update some package. Help function is to, if you are not aware of how to use a particular function, you can take the help of. And you can write help with that particular function. It will show you the that function documentation, right? And you can read and clarify your doubts. Any questions so far? Everybody understood this? Okay. If I don't get a ping, I'll just assume that everybody's are okay. I can see Jitendra is not in the list. Okay, we'll proceed. So, fine. So we saw, right? We saw all those things, all the 4 panels. Now, right, as I told you, how to open a script. If you want to create a new R script, go to File, New, and R script. Um, Instead of that, yes, you have to go through again, but yeah, this is already recorded. You can watch this video, and you can follow this uh, particular PPT. It's very easy to follow. Okay, um, and you can go to file, new, and R script, or you can just, if you want to use a shortcut, you can say Control Shift N. It will create a new file for you. Okay, it's like this. Either you go here, file, new file, R script. This will create a file for you, or you just say Control Shift N. This way also it is creating a new file. I just press Control Shift N. I could open a new file, says untitled 2, right? So this is a way you can actually create new R scripts. Okay, now we saw this, right? We saw how do we see the environment, how do we see the history. We have already covered this. How do we see the history? You have covered how to write commands here. We have also seen. Like everything is command, right? If I write a help function, this is command. I can also write where one is already there. I've already written. I can also write where 2 equal to, let's say, 12, and I can say where 3 is equal to where 1 plus, sorry, plus where 2, and 10 plus 12, 22 should be there, right? So I can just check by typing var 3. So I have got a function. So I can also write the same things, each and every line of code in the console, right? And let's say this is, and let's say this is this, you want to run this particular code. Okay, if you see, if you remember, we have written some simple code: a equal to 5, equal to 6, and c equal to a plus b, and we are printing c. Okay, and let me just customize a little. I says um, in the double quote that says sum is, okay, sum is c, the variable c. Okay, now so it should print sum is double quote, sum is colon, full colon, 11 for me, right? So I want to run this. How do you gonna run this? First you save this. Okay, then there is, if you see over here, there is a button called run. Okay, you can click here. If you click here, okay, the sum is invalid argument. Don't worry, hold on a second. Okay, that's not. I need to tell you how to actually write print statement. Don't worry about that. Let me just run this. Print C. 6. It's not, object is not found. Okay. Give me a second. Let me just debug what happened wrong. Print B. B object is not found. Okay. Okay. No problem. A B equal to C. Yep. So yeah. So now if you see here, there was some error. Don't worry about it. So a equal to 5, b equal to 6, and I say just c equal to a plus b, and I'm just printing c. Now I have saved it, and I can, there are two options to run it. You can directly click, hit on the button run, it will run, and yeah, it will run here, and there is another button. You just click here, source on save, okay, and if you say source on save, as soon as you save it, it will run the program at the end. If you want to run the window, what you need to do is first you say source, okay, then a source will also be able to run this, because this is not a function. I have just written a plain script. I have just written a plain script. Only thing that you need to do is hit on the source button. Okay, we hit on the source button, it will tell you the result of this, guys. So this is how we will uh, uh, run a lot of codes in detail. Okay, don't need to worry about, but this is how you can run a code. Okay, we'll see how to nicely write customized print statement, how to write functions later on this, later within couple of sessions. Okay, but this is essentially you need to run some source code that you are writing, and the console will print that result for you. Okay, so this is the part of the console, and we saw this file tab, plot tab, package tab, and help tab, right? We have already discussed. We all also discussed how to install package using this also, and we and you can actually write some plots. You can actually write some plot commands, and if you write some plot commands, it's gonna show you some plots over here. Let me just do that for you. So what I'm doing is a equal to, I'm just creating two vectors. Okay, I'm just creating two vectors, 1 to 10. Okay, so what I've done is I have created a sequence from 1 to 10, and I have kept it in a vector called a. Okay, and for b I have just created like a vector of some values like 13, 12, 13, 15, let's say 17, 0, 6, 6 values, 15, 20, 80, and let's say 13. So 10 values. So A is a vector which contains 10 values 1 to 10. B is another vector which contains different arbitrary values, right? 13, 12, 13, like that, so on and so forth. So I have A and B. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just draw a plot. First thing is I'm going to draw a scatter plot. Okay. So I'll take A in x-axis. I'll take B in y-axis. I'm just going to draw some points. So let me just draw a basic plot. So in plot, I'll say in the x-axis I need to pass A. So I'll type A, comma, in y-axis my vector B will go. So I'll just type B. Then okay, this is the plain thing I can do. Okay, so just plot A versus B. So once you click A versus B, right? So I'm just drawing a simple plot A versus B. So A is on my x-axis, Y is on my, sorry, B is on my y-axis, right? And you can see all the points being drawn on there. So if you are drawing some plots, this is a very basic plot. Okay, there are lots of nice plots. You can color everything. There are 3D plots also you can draw. Everything that you do it here on the console, or if you do it on this R script, right? R file will be shown on the plot tab. Okay, this is how it works. Now there are also tools tab. Okay, there is also some options. You can go to the tools, go to on the top right corner. If you see some options, right? File, edit, code, view, like that. The second last option is tool. Go to the tool and go to the global option. And in the global option, you can set some default directory. Okay, we'll talk about directory, how to set directory through command modes also. Um, you can go and actually do a lot of things. What I'll suggest you is do not change anything right now, but just go ahead and click on tool. Go ahead, click on tool, and go to the global options and just read out each and every options. What do they mean? Okay, page layout here. First one is my R code. Second one is my environment. Third one is my this. If I go clockwise, third one is my plots and all. Fourth one is my console. If I want, I can change the layout here. Okay, whatever I want in the first quadrant, I can select out of it. So you can do that also. Okay, there are lots of options you can go ahead and change. So just go and have a look. Okay, as part of the assignment, just go and look and try to understand what each of those options means for you. Now So this is all that about. Okay, now let's look at when you install R will start running, right? R, when you install R and R Studio and then you open R Studio will run, right? But R Studio should run at some particular directory. Anything that you are writing or anything that you are reading, there should be default directory. Okay, so the default directory is the default location path is the directory for the R Studio. If you want to know what is the current directory of this R Studio, go ahead and type a command called get wd. Everything in small letter, get wd, double bracket. So this is round bracket. Always put round bracket, get wd, and it tells me my current directory is C drive, window, lucky, and documents, right? Now, let's say I don't want to work here. I want to change my directory. In that case, let's say I want to change my directory into this particular folder. I want to go here and training, and let's say demo class. Let's say this is my particular directory. So F drive training demo class is my directory. What I'll do is, let me copy this particular path. Then you need to use a command called setwd. Okay, is for get working directory. Setwd is for set working directory. Setwd double bracket. Inside that you have to specify what is the directory. So I've copied the directory. I'm just pasting it here. Okay, but remember one thing, backslash. Okay, backslash in R is a special character. Okay, backslash in R is a special character. If you're using backslash as a path, please remember to use double backslash instead of single backslash. You can use like this. If you are not comfortable with double backslash, don't worry, use single forward slash. Okay, so this is my particular directory I want to set. So I just say set wd and I gave the path and I say enter. When I hit enter, my working directory is being changed. So now to look at what is my current working directory, I just type the get wd command again. Now if you see, my current working directory is function training demo classes. Now how this will gonna work, just look at here. In the files, as I said, the file tab, if you see my mouse, my mouse is on the third quadrant, right, the third panel, and mouse is on the file tab. If I hit on the file tab, I should be able to see everything inside this particular folder. Okay, set working directory. Hold on a second. Get wd. Okay. Set wd. Okay. If you want to, one more thing, if you want to go to the earlier, there is some issues on this left hand side, right hand side. Don't worry. I'm reiterating again. If you are, if you want to look into your previous instruction that you have run, just use the top arrow button. Okay, the top up arrow button, and you can go ahead and look into everything that you have run in the past. So set wd. When I say set wd, over here, if I write list.files, list.files is a command which will tell you what are the files. List.files, not file. List.files is a command, is a function which will tell you what are the files listed inside the current existing directory. Okay, now look at this. My current directory is F training demo class, and this is my all the files that is inside that particular folder. If you want to ensure, I can go to the same folder in my Explorer, I can see these are all the files that is being listed on the R command, R window, right? Okay, this Guys, just give me some time. Tomorrow I'm gonna rectify this. Need to see why this side is not getting updated. Ideally, when you set a working directory on the left hand side, this side should also get updated. This should also show me all these files that I see here is printed. This should also show me the same files, but it is still pointing to the older directory, the default directory. Okay, I need to check that. Just allow me one day. I'll rectify that and mail it to you guys. Now, okay, so this is how to set directory. Let's go ahead and look at. Okay, so either you can use forward slash or you need to use backward double slash. Okay, now what is this means? Set working directory inside the code. I have used tilde. This is called tilde. Okay, this sinusoidal wave kind of thing called tilde slash my directory. This is like if you are at a particular directory. Okay, it's like this. And if you want to clear your window, if you want to clear your window, just press Control and press L. This will clear your window. Okay. Okay. Now let's say what is this tilde means? Let me give you a demo. Let's say right now I'm at this demo class, right? And you can confirm it by typing get wd. So I'm right now at f training demo class. Instead of here, let's say I'm creating another folder inside this, which is, let's say, test folder. Okay. And right now I'm at this particular directory, but I wanted to set my particular environment to this particular path. Okay. Now from F drive training demo class, I want to switch to a path which is inside this, right? The test folder is inside the particular earlier path. So in that case, instead of writing the full path like this, I can just use tilde. Okay, I can just use tilde in place of this particular earlier path and tilde slash test. I can just write that and it will work for me. Let me show you. So now, so basically I wanted, okay, let me use double backslash. You can use forward backslash if you want. So double backslash. So now this is the way I can go to the test folder, right? So F training demo class slash folder test. Or instead of doing all this, taking all this pain, you can just delete this and use tilde, because your current directory, tilde means your current directory. Okay, tilde is your current directory. You say tilde double slash test. It will also take you. Sorry, not set. It is set work WD, right? Set working directory. Sorry for that. Cannot change the working directory. Okay. Error, cannot change the working directory. Hold on a second. I need to check why it is not able to change. Set WD. Forward slash, anything, double backslash or forward slash is fine. Okay, so it is taking the full path. It is not taking the absolute path. There is some reason for it. Hold on a second. Let me close this once, save, and reopen it using admin mode. Says open. I have just right click on it, says open in a administrator mode, because earlier it was in a guest mode. I want to run it as an admin. Our studio will be running as an admin now. Okay, now let's see. So this was my, okay, now my get working directory is earlier this one. First let me set it to the working directory called demo class. Set working directory as I'm just using forward slash, easy to use. I don't need to use double backslash. Okay, so this is the current working directories demo class. Now it says if you want to switch, changing the working directories functions. Okay, so now let's go to, instead of this we'll go to test folder inside the same file. So tilde slash test, cannot change the current directory, so it is not actually checking the relative path. Okay, nice. I need to check this. Let's leave it for the time being. I'll check it and get back to you guys. So this is one thing. Set working directory using relative path is not working, but absolute path you can always set it like this. And whenever I am setting a directory, this right part is not refreshing. Let me refresh it. It is not refreshing. I need to check that as well. I need to change some setting in the RStudio so that these two things works, and I'll make it work and show it to you in the next class. Um, let's not worry about that. That's a small thing. Let's proceed. Okay. Now, as we said, you want to install some package, right? So if you want to install some package, you can go here. If you want to install some package, you can always go here, say install, and write the package name here and say install. There is another way to do it also. Let's say I want to install a package whose name is reshape2. Okay, reshape2. So in that case, what I'll do is, I am clearing the screen again by pressing Ctrl L. I'll give you all the shortcut commands. Okay, don't worry. I'll write in a Word file and give you all the shortcut commands, and I'll describe what each of the command means. Okay, you will get a cheat sheet from me. Let's say, so to install package, there is a command called install dot packages. Okay, install dot packages. Install dot packages. Inside that, put a double quote and write reshape2. Reshape2 is the package I want to install. Reshape2. Once you write this and hit enter, it will go to the CRAN site and it will install the reshape2 package. Right now it is installing that package for me. Right, so because reshape2 is a package which also invokes lots of other necessary package, and those necessary packages were not installed. So what it did is it went ahead and installed few packages before reshape2 was installed. So it installed string-i, MAGRITTR package, polyr, string-r, RCCP, RCPP package. Then it went ahead and installed. So everything will be automated. Okay, if you just need to say install packages. Now, this is one. So this is one way to look at. Now, if you want to just okay, now if you look at here in the package, you can see my reshape pack 2. If you see here, right, my reshape2 package is installed. Reshape2 package is installed here, right? User library. These are all the packages that I have installed. So reshape2 package is installed here, right? So if you want to use this package, go ahead, you say click on this. This will use this package, or you can like click on this. This will use this package, or you can just say library. Use reshape. The command RESHAP2. Case sensitive again, you need to be careful. Reshape2. This will also work. Instead of library, you can also say require. Require and library are the same thing. Okay. Oh, why do we write a library or require? Both are the same functionality, but why do we need to write that is because if you want to write some function, okay, if you want to use some function, which is inside the package, let's say reshape2, then you have to first say load the reshape2 package for me so that I can use the functionality inside that package. That is why we say require or library, right? In the bracket, you have to write the package name. Then you can start using all the functions inside that package. Okay, and this is about installing a package and loading the package, loading that particular library. Let's say on this window, on this package window, you can see all those packages that has been installed. Okay, all the packages that has been installed. Some of the user library, that means they are being installed by me, and some of the system library that has been pre-installed when we installed R, that has been pre-installed, right? So you can view it here. There is another way to view that. If you want to list out all the packages using the console command, you just write installed. Earlier we were saying install.packages. Installed means what has been installed. Okay, install.package, sorry, install.packages. Just, you don't need to put anything because you need to list down all the packages that has been installed, right? So install.packages, bracket, open bracket, end, hit enter. It will give you list of all the packages installed. It will give you list of all the packages installed, where they have been installed, right? Where they have been installed, what is the priority of each of this package. Do each of the package depends on anything else, like what is the R version they need, do they need any other library, right? Because reshape2 standalone will not work, right? To install reshape2, we went ahead and installed a lot of other things also, right? We went ahead and installed 5 more extra packages, right? That means reshape2 depends upon all these packages. So to install reshape2, I need to install these 5 packages first, what has been automated using the command install.packages. So all those information will be listed out here, okay? And you can look into that. Go ahead and type this command later on after this class and see what is it saying, okay? Try to understand. It's very simple. I mean, it is telling about what it's saying. For example, the last one, it says it is listing down all those packages, and what it's saying is, does it need compilation? It doesn't need compilation, okay? Which is the build, on which R version this has been built, on which R version this package one is built. Let's say PolyR, PLYR is a library done by Yahoo team, okay? Those Yahoo team have written all the functions from the scratch and they have made it as a package, right? But they have developed in some R version. So they have used 3.2.3 R version, right? So for you to use 3.2. Like for you to use this PolyR library, your R version should be compatible with their R version. If you are using a very old R version, this particular package may not work in your system. Okay, so that is what it all means. So install.packages is to install package, installed.packages is to list out all the packages that has been installed. And to tell you, there are 5,000 plus open source packages already available on the CRAN site, okay? Everything that you need should be there. 99.9% time it should be there. Hardly anytime you need to write something from the scratch. Now, we already saw, right? Library, the package name or require the package name is to load the package after you install. Unless you load the package to your environment, you cannot really use the functionality inside the package. So you need to load the package. Now, update the package means if the package that you have installed in the past, okay, it's time to update. Like you installed some app in the Android, right? And time to time you update your Android apps. Same thing. You can update your packages. Okay. If you type update.packages bracket start bracket end, this will update each and every package that is being installed in your R directory. Okay. Now let's say if you want to remove some package, let's say I want to remove R-shape2 package, what I'll do is I'll just say remove, sorry, I will say remove packages inside that reshape2. Reshape2. Okay, so this package has been removed from this particular directory. Okay, you will now, if you just to confirm the remove package has been removed, look at this right side window here on the package panel. You don't see reshape2 package anymore, right? Only those pre-installed or other app packages that I have installed along with reshape packaging, but reshape2 package is missing here because I have removed this package. Okay, so now same, this is, I have already told you, if you want to know what's a particular function means, you can use that function name like we did. You can use the question mark and function name, or you can say help, type help in the bracket, write the function name. This both will take you to the function documentation package. Let's say median. Okay, let's say mean. I know mean is a very simple function, but I don't know the meaning of how to use mean. So you type mean here, okay, and it will take you to a package called mean. So mean means it's arithmetic mean, and how do you gonna use this particular function to calculate mean? Everything will be told to you in this package. Help side. Okay. Now this one here, you see all the documentation for mean, right? And you can also see there are some examples of the mean. Let's say you don't want to look at the documentation, you just wanted to see the examples of how to use means. You can just write examples, and inside that you just write mean. Okay. If you see here, all those three examples that is in the documentation are printed here, right? So if you only want to look at few examples of the particular function, go ahead and type example and function name. It will show you only the examples. Okay. If you want to search some, okay, if you want to see what are the arguments that is being passed, you can also do that. Let's say arguments, args, okay, args of mean. So I wanted to see what are the argument, what are the parameter I should pass in the mean function. So you just type mean. It tells you only thing you need to pass is x. Okay, so what it is actually, what it is doing, it is taking the few section of this documentation and it is showing whatever you want. So it is saying show me all the arguments, so it shows you x. Okay, you just need to use it like this. Show me all the examples, so example of this function, it will tell you. It will just copy paste this particular section for you if you are interested in some part of the description. Okay, and if you want to search something in the R documentation, let's say if you want to search something in the R documentation, but you are not very sure what to search, but you know something what to search. It may not be a function, it may be just a name. And if you want to, like, you do a Google, right? And the Google can be anything you can Google on, right? So like that, I can Google on my R Studio, like help.search, and type something inside this. So like help.rch. Let's say type something. Let's say, let me type wait a second. Let me type this name, arithmetic mean. Let me copy this name and paste it here and see what is it returning. Oh, see, I have searched help.search arithmetic mean, and it is giving me lots of pages inside the help function which are relevant to this particular term, arithmetic mean. So I got a lot of things, and you can choose anyone which is related to you, right? If you're interested in, you can go and look into that particular thing, because it has found arithmetic mean somewhere in this description, somewhere in the total document. That is why it has written that particular page to you. Okay, and you can use this back arrow and front arrow to go forward and backward in the help function. Okay, and instead of health dot search function, you can also just type double question mark. That is also means help search, and inside bracket you can just type the particular term that you want to search. Okay, so this is how you're going to install packages. Okay, install.packages, let's ggplotto, polyr, like these are all the packages. It's some important package. Okay, now if you want to search anything instead of RStudio, if you want to search anything on the web, okay, and you want to Google something on R, if you want to know, let's say, how to use for loop, let's say how to use for loop in the R. So like anything you want to search in the web, Google is for you. So if you want to search anything specific for R, www.rsig.org is the Google for R. Okay, let me go ahead and look at www.rsig.org. Okay, this is the Google for R, like how to use for loop. Let's say I want to just learn this, how to use for loop. This will give me lots of websites, not just R Crane website, lots of websites which are very dedicated to R programming skills. It will tell you how all these sites will be telling you how to use loops, like for loops, how to use for loops. It will give you a lot of examples and all. So this is the best way to start doing self-learning. You want to explore something which you don't know, go ahead and use this site rsig.org, and it will tell you how to use anything that you want, for loop, or how to use data type, what are the different data types, and everything that you want to learn inside R. Okay, so now there will be some important packages, okay, we'll be using throughout our classes. Okay, there will be some important packages we'll be using throughout our classes. One of them I just try installing in front of you, Reshape 2, but I have not told you what are the packages are. Okay, today we are running out of time, but I'll not be telling what are these packages. I'll tell that to you in the next class, but everything I'll not cover in one shot, like what each of the packages mean. Throughout the 6 classes, no, I'm gonna give you some explanation about what all these packages can do. Okay, what forecast package can do, what is SQL DF. From the name also, you can see that you can actually write some SQL statements inside this if you use this package. Polyr, what is string R? String R is like for doing some string manipulation. Okay, PLYR is actually to slice and dice some data structure inside R. Reshape 2 is to do reshaping of the data. Okay, we'll see that. We'll see all this in the next class. ggplot2 is a very good updated package to draw nice and beautiful charts. Okay, plots, charts with some graphs and everything. Okay, Lubridate is a package where you can actually use you can fetch some date function, like it's a date function. So Lubricate is a package, it has all date functionality. Given a date, you can calculate the day out of it, calculate the month, calculate which year it is, you can format the date. Okay, and we'll also look at some of the database packages. Okay, we'll also look at some of the database packages. If you want to connect to, let's say if you want to connect to something like um, MySQL. If you want to connect to MySQL, you need some package to be installed inside R. That's called R MySQL package. If you want to connect your R R window to PostgreSQL, you need to install some package called R PostgreSQL, right? Similarly, for MongoDB also there is something. Some for ODBC package is also there. So all these packages are there. But as on when it is required, I'm going to explain all this. I'm not covering this right now because to cover this and to let you know what all this function does, no, I have to first tell you how to write code in R. Till the point, I have not told you how to write code in R, how to initiate data, what are different data types, how to do for looping, how to do even if print statement also I have not told you, right? It's all about how to set directories, how to get directories, how to install packages, how does the R Studio looks like. It's all about the overview of how does R Studio look like. But we have not yet started R coding. But to make you understand what each and every package do and they are capable of, you need to know little bit of R before we proceed, right? So as and when we will learn, and I feel that it's a right stage to introduce this package to you, I'm going to introduce this package in front of you. Okay, so hold on for the time being. I'm not covering this because it will be too much complex at right this point of time. So I'm going to introduce all this when the things will look very easy for you. Okay. So we will cover all this last few 10 slides, but when we start learning, okay, and when we start learning R. So some of the slides, 12 around 12 to 13 slides, I'm not covering it because I don't feel it's the right time to introduce those things to you. So in the next class, we will be starting how to code. Okay, what are the built-in functions, what are the built-in function in R, what are the basic data structure in R, like I was telling you, scalar, vector. Instead of that, there are some other data types also. We need to learn those things like vectors, matrices, all those things. Okay, along with that, I'll give you some examples of a couple of like string R function. What does the string R function does? How do you use this lubridate function? Some of the functions which is easy for you to understand at that particular point of time. I'm going to introduce some of the key packages to you guys. Okay, and um, okay, couple of more things which I have left it for the next classes is there is a package called data mining GUI. Okay, yeah, GUI means it's a uh, it's a window where you can actually play. We don't need to write code. You can just play, select some data sets. You can run some algorithms onto it. But we're gonna introduce that later. Right now, it's not the right time to introduce. So one data mining based GUI in R will introduce one graphics like how to plot nice charts and all without writing anything. Okay, without writing anything on the console, you can actually click some buttons and create some nice charts. So that is one package that going to introduce that. And there is one more thing that I think you need to, Swirl. Okay, SWIRL, Swirl. Swirl is a package which can be a teacher for you. Okay, Swirl is an interactive package. Will talk to you. Okay, will talk to you and let you learn R without me. I mean, after me. So this will help you in learning R. So it will be interactive mode where it will tell you to write something. You write something. It will correct. Then like step by step you can learn R. Okay, Swirl is a it can teach you how to write R programming. Okay, and it's an interactive console, so you can actually learn. But let's not do that because first I need to tell you little bit about R. You should start little bit of coding in front of me, then you jump over to Swirl and start learning on your own. Right now this is not the right time to start learning Swirl on your own. Okay, so we'll keep all this. I have everything in my mind. What I am not covering, I'll be covering all this in the next couple of classes. We'll be covering all this. Okay, so this is our next class. In the next class, all the data structures and all in R, plus some of the portion which I have left in this class. I'll be covering that in couple of 2 to 3 classes followed after this class. Okay, so in next couple of 2 to 3 classes, whatever is left, we'll be covering it, but at the right time when I feel I should introduce those concepts in front of you. Okay, so please let me know if you have any questions. Anand.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, always doubtful.
Yes,
So,
please. Sir.
hello.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I can
it
hear
was
you.
very this. Yeah, this R was very new to me, and
Yes.
I was just confused. Like, if what is the use of this R now after having the full session? If I'm asking
Okay.
this question, I mean, sound foolish, but
No,
uh,
no, this is a
can you?
good question. Yeah, let me explain you in this way. Why should I learn R? Why should not I be learning Java or something else? First question
Yeah,
is
it's
yes.
no.
Uh,
I was into insurance sector, and I was analyst there, senior analyst there,
yeah.
and I was just trying to compare that whatever I have done there for last 3.5 years. Is there anything relevant which will be like matching with that same thing?
Okay,
But
but it
there was nothing relevant with insurance sector or insurance business analyst. So, uh,
no, no.
why R?
R is basically a tool, is a programming language, okay? R is a
Okay.
programming languages where you're going to learn all any statistical methods that we will be teaching you, like hypothesis testing and all that. I gave you an example of hypothesis testing, right? Class section A versus section V, right? Whether a teacher is performing or not. So those kind of analysis, or even any linear regression, logistic regression, everything that we'll be learning, right? We need to
Statistical.
any
Statistical.
any statistical analysis that will be learning, or any
Ah,
data mining techniques, still logistic regression, right? Because this course covers still logistic regression. All these things
okay.
we're going to practice in R, because it's not be Excel, right? We have to write codes, right? So the
We
easiest
will
way to
be
write, yes,
will we give me this whatever we have learned today? Will it
yeah,
be available me anytime when I log in or
yes,
after this
yes,
session?
yes.
Yes, it will be
If
there.
you, yeah, let me show you that. I think you joined later. Let me show you that. If you log into your if you log into your dashboard, okay, if you
Okay.
log into your
Okay.
dashboard, you can see
Recording.
something like this. Okay, if you see some icons like this, you have to just click on this course content icon. Okay, click on this. It will take you to the content
Okay.
section.
Okay.
Here you have to just select the session. So today is the session 2. Select this particular
Okay.
session, and
Okay.
here there will be 3 tabs. One will be PPT examples, the PPT that I was covering, code examples, any code that is being covered in the session, and any assignment given to you. Okay, for this particular today sessions, I
Okay.
have not covered the codes because I don't feel it's the right stage to introduce codes to you guys, because you have not
Yeah,
yet
of
done
course.
a single line of
R.
statement, right? Yes. So not the right time to introduce codes to you. So I am, we'll skip this part. Okay. Go ahead and look into the assignment. Let me just view the assignment. I'm not sure whether you should be doing this assignment or not. Hold on a second. Let me. Okay. Install Shield and
And
complete the.
one.
Yes. Please tell me.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Anand,
Hello.
I can hear you.
Yeah, but I am not able to. Yeah. So one more question was that, like, when we are installing this R in our system, so is it like our personal data, our personal photo studios, and all those things, which is in our system? Will it be, public, or is it,
No, no, nothing like that. Nothing like that. So when you install R, R is local to you. You don't need to worry about anything. R is not taking anything from your local system and or doing any upload. Nothing like that. Be uh, be sure about that. Okay.
okay, okay, okay.
Okay. So basically, R will be a platform for you to code. Like, okay, practice anything that you want to learn. Okay, and
Okay.
believe me, any if you are saying if you are an analyst, you might have done some analysis, right, using some mathematical, some mathematics, or some
We, we,
small
we were
statistics.
using Excel there. We were
Yeah.
using Excel.
So anything that you have done in Excel, no, I can do
Uh-huh.
that in 10 to 15 minutes in R as well.
Oh,
Okay.
good.
And I don't need to
Good.
do anything from the scratch. There are already
Okay.
packages available. I just need to load those package, install them, load those packages and run those functions. That's it.
So
That's how it is.
so how we can come to a conclusion that it is better than MS Excel? Whatever
Oh,
we can,
it is way better than MS Excel. Believe me, just wait for a couple of classes. I mean,
okay.
you will never ask me that question again. There is
No,
right now
in
at
as
this
in
point.
MS, the problem which we are facing in MS Excel is that again it comes to coding. So we are
Yes,
not from the engineering background for
exactly. So,
for coding and those
for
things.
example, let's say you want to do some little nice feel to the Excel. You need a
No, I'm not
coder
good. I'm not good at all.
basic, right? Yeah, who knows VB, right? So that he can write the
Yeah,
backend code and it will run.
yeah.
So VB's code is not that simple. Whereas you can, if you load that Excel here, and you can
Hmm.
easily write a lot of simple code. We will do one thing, like we'll write some simple code, and from there also anybody who want to make a full-fledged code, he's always welcome. Write it in a nicer manner, or even a dirty code in R will also work for you. Okay,
Okay. So I
so
mean to say that it is very new to me, and
yeah.
I am just like a LKG student for your art.
No
And
problem. And this course is expects that you don't know anything. Okay. Then it is
okay,
a good course. Okay.
okay.
Uh,
Thanks.
yeah. Welcome. So Pranav, I can read your question. I am clicking on the RStudio shortcut. It is going to be installed again. Unlike your system, should I let it? Can you explain me a little? What is the issue, Pranav? Can you unmute yourself and explain me? Pranav, I have unmuted you. Can you explain me what's the issue? I'm with earphone only. Okay. Um, okay, please write. Jitendra, any question from your side? You want to ask anything? I know today's was very basic. I just wanted to give an overview of how do you handle RStudio, like where all buttons are, how do you start coding, where to code, where to run those codes, right? But we have not started R. Okay, R will be started next week. Okay, you have installed RStudio like me. Now what about R? That's to install. Okay, now do one thing. If your RStudio is open, just close it. Just close it, the RStudio, any RStudio window, and open the RStudio again. I- Is there any window prompting you, window prompt in front of you, or it is directly taking you to the R window panel? It is directly taking you to R window panel? No, so there is a window prompt, right? Does it have something like 64-bit, 32-bit, like that? It is asking to get installed. I'm not sure. Okay. So hold on a second. Just give me a moment. Uh, Let me see if I can see your screen. Just give me a minute. Okay, I'm stopping my sharing. I'll try to see if how do I connect to uh, Pranab's window. I wanted to see the Pranab's window. Yeah, Pranab, please share. Yeah, show me where is the issue. Pranav, you can control and show me. Have your own control and show me. Can you run and show me what is the issue? Pranav, yeah, I can see your screen. Just show me where is the issue. I wanted to see what is the issue. Okay, right click and open it. No, just double click on the R Studio. Now I'm not able to see your current window. Hold on a second. Pranav, 1 second. Okay, can you do one thing? Can you just stop your sharing and share it again? Stop your screen share and do it again. Yep. Can you share your screen again? Yeah, now it is better. Yeah, show me. Hey, that is not R Studio installation. R Studio should be. Show is. Do you see another R icon somewhere? That's the installation installer file. This is R installation is done. Have you installed R, by the way? Double click on this. Double click on this. No, not this. Yes, yes. Double click on R Studio 0.99. Close this. Close this, please. Double click on R Studio. Say no. Say no and close it. Yeah, let it get through. Where is R? What happened? Can you double click again on it, please? One more time. Yeah, say next. Next. Don't close it. Say, okay, you have lots of windows open. Okay, say next. Go ahead, say next. 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 Yeah, it is installing RStudio now. Your R is already installed. Now you are installing RStudio. Once it is installed, you will see an icon in the desktop for sure. Just hold on for 2 minutes. You will see icon. And then you can also follow the similar step. You can install R first, then RStudio. Anything is fine. Okay. You have done it earlier, but it is installing again, right? That means it is not installed. Let it be. Let it get installed. We'll see what's happening after that. What is the issue? Okay, finish. Hold on a second. There should be our studio. Do you have run command? Something. Our studio should be somewhere in here. I don't see. Can you go to this PC? Go to this PC. Uh, your PC computer, my computer, or this PC. Can you open your C drive for me, please? C drive. Yes, C drive. Yeah. Now go to program files. Go to RStudio. Do you see RStudio folder? Yes. Okay. Hold on. Go to bin. Come down. Look at. Okay. Do you see RStudio? Uh, yes. Right click on it and hold on. Hold on. Right click on it and share with. Send to. You don't have a option. Send to option. No, no, no. You right click on. Select RStudio. Then right click on it. Select RStudio first. Right click on it. Send to. Send to desktop shortcut. Shortcut. Yes. Now go, let's go to desktop. Okay. Double click on it. Okay. See, it has taken. You can see that, right? Now, uh, okay. Only thing you are not able to see is okay. The R. You can see only three panel. You are not able to see the first panel where you can write source code. Do you see? Okay. Go to the file. Go to file. File. Say new. Go to click on file. New file. R script. Okay, so the fourth panel also comes. Here you can write some script. You can run that as I said. And don't worry, I mean, you don't need to run anything right now. But basically, uh, practice all those get working directly, set working directly. Try installing those packages. Just try installing one of the package. Whatever I have told in this class, right? Just try those things, okay? And see how it is working for you. And tell me where you are facing problem. Okay. Yeah, just go through those PPT and leave those PPT which I have not covered. Okay, because I have not covered keeping something in my mind because I want to cover that later point of time. Practice whatever I have learned, and you have 1 week of time. Okay. Um, yeah. So we'll meet in the next week, Friday night. Uh, so